Oh, lucky video editing. Places things can all go wrong. So I'm going to apologise in advance. Sorry about the sound in this video. After last week's video, it's a bad one. I've only got the soundtrack on the camera. Tried this radio broadcaster this week, clipped it on my belt with the mic. Records lovely, sends it via radio to another unit that plugs in the camera. Worked fine when I tested it just beforehand. Did the whole video. Great, come in, chucks it on to edit it. Sound? No sound, just the sound on the camera with a load of wind noise. So apologies for the wind noise this week. Won't let it happen again. Probably won't try this again straight away, but it looks like it'll work fine. But back to the video, and apologies for the wind noise on any of the sound. Bye for now. Hi, and welcome down to the Devon Koi Pond this week on a reasonable morning. Showery rain, bit of cloud, bit of sun, but the temperature's not too bad. We've had a really bad week. One full day of rain, 2 half days of rain, been overcast all week. But I'll show you what I've been playing around with still on the solar, still playing with that in a minute. I'll give you a look at that. But the watercress arrived, so I planted that out. It was well slowed up in the post, didn't look too healthy when it arrived yesterday, but I've just planted that up in some pots. Got that in the veg filter, hopefully that'll kick off soon. I'm well late with it this year, should have had it 4 weeks ago really, but hopefully it'll soon catch up. I've just turned the air off in the pond so we can see the fish in a minute. But, they're lurking around a bit. Had some food earlier this morning, it's about 9 in the morning now. But we'll have a look at what's going on over in the veg filter, what I'm going to do to try and bring down the nitrites. So the water's all looking good this morning. Lovely, it's looking like a black pool. So they had their breakfast about 2 hours ago or more. And, so the chap that I've been talking about mounting the skimmer in the wall, this is how mine is. I hope you can see the bracket as it comes through the wall there. It's on a piece of pipe that goes across against the wall that's blanked off to kind of stabilise it there, or the koi knock it round. But that works a treat like that. We got a pond temperature today of 14.2. Not been a very good week. And a bit bad like that. Over here in the veg, the lilies are really going for it. They're liking it. The blanket weed's still building up in the veg, but looking pretty good in the pond. I can actually see a bud coming up on that one, so that one's going to flower. Near one here on the left, that one's going to have a flower up within a week or two. But, here's the watercress. I have planted it just in some grit in some pots, just root it just to stop it floating around till it kind of takes off. Hopefully that'll go in the next few days and really start to grow. Now, a few of you that were following last year will recognise this tray, saw me making it. I still have to make one more, maybe two. I want to put them on the lip of the pond and join them together. I have two going down this side, joined onto this one. I'll join them all together with 1.5 inch tank connectors and put alpha grog in the bottom. This is to actually put the cress in. I'm going to use it as kind of a river filter with a grog going through it, but it's mainly to give something for the cress to grow out of, because with it in the pond last year, the koi were constantly pulling at it, tugging bits off. Oh, they love it, but the bits were going in the filters all the time, so we wanted to get shot of that. So by putting it in these two trays, I'm hoping to grow it round the lip of the pond. And I'm going to connect it into this first pipe with this T here, and just put a bung in the end of that first inlet pipe, which should then flow the water into the tray, and I can run it round with an outlet pipe on the far end of however far I go. I need to get back into school to make the second tray. The material's there, and unfortunately at the moment we can't get in, but it looks like the lockdown is going to be easing within the next week or two, so I could find myself back at work, which would be nice, and I can get that sorted. Bit of sunshine again, lovely. The sucking noise you can hear here. There's the water going through the 4 outlets back to the pond. That can get a bit annoying, but if I put a bit of filter quilt over the top, it stops that, which I'll be doing in a bit. See, the water's looking very good this morning. It's got a bit of a tinge to it, but I think that's the greenness from the blanket weed that's growing. I'm still holding off on the clover leaf, but get to that point where I'm going to do it. If not during the week this week, then it's going to be next weekend, but we'll have to see. Looking good here. Just like to say welcome to all the new subscribers. Fantastic having you. If you've got ponds yourself, hope you're enjoying the ponding season. We're certainly enjoying it down here, but this week's been a bit poor. But let's pop in and have a quick look at the solar. So now last week I actually swapped over the grid tie inverter to this one. I've got this one on kind of semi-permanent loan from a friend. Now this one's 24 volts, so I've rewired the panels round to 24 volt, which involves just swapping the plugs round on them, but it means that I can't use the charge controller because my batteries are wired up for 12 volt. I'd have to rewire them up for 24, then get a 24 volt inverter. So under my friend's recommendation, I've gone for a 12 volt battery charger that I can just plug in once a week, just top the batteries up, and away we go. And the batteries at the moment are sitting at 12.6, so I'm quite happy with that. If they drop 12.5, 12.4, then I'll put the charger on for an hour just to top them back up. But so far I've only had to do that once, which was yesterday. This has been in a week. So over here on the power going in socket, it was just after dinner last week on Friday. We're on Friday the 1st of May today, but Friday last week, this I reset to 0 right after I started going. The bottom figure there is the amount in money it's put into the mains this week. So I've actually pumped in £2.39, and we're at like I say 9 in the morning. Got another couple of hours yet. It's going to make £2.50, and this week then I'll have made £2.50's worth of electric that I've put back into the ring. We've had one wet day, a couple of wet mornings. It hasn't been the brightest of weeks, so £2.50 probably on a nice sunny week, 7 days of reasonable sunshine, not overcast and cloudy, certainly not at least for a day. We should make £2.50 at least without any effort. So that's making, as you can see at the moment, you know what the weather's like outside, bit of sun, bit of cloud, it's just gone behind the cloud now. We're only making 85, 84 watts. But that'll creep up to over 200 if the sun comes out. So hopefully, I say, we'll hit £2.50 for this week. So as I said, I've swapped over from this grid tie, which is 12 volt, to this one, which is supposed to perform a lot better than the 12 volt one anyway. But that one's on loan. Anybody that wants to know more about doing this, yes, it does work. At that kind of rate, in a year, I'm going to make back somewhere between £70 and £100 a year saving on it. So with the outlay on just a grid tie inverter and the solar panels, you spend £450. So you're going to take 4 years, 5 years to put your money back. After that, you're in profit. So the later report on this will be in about 4 years time, if I'm still around, if the coronavirus ain't got me, and we'll have a look at that in about 4 years. And once it's paid for itself and we're starting to make money off of it. Right, the sun's come back outside, and we've now jumped up to 280 watts. And if I go to the function button here, right, oh, that's the high. That's the most wattage it makes as the sun goes over its peak. 436 watts it'll make somewhere around mid-morning. So it creeps up to that from 0 in the morning. It'll creep up to that as a maximum as the sun comes up, and then fall to that as the sun goes down. 18 pence is the amount per unit there on the bottom that I'm paying per kilowatt hour, and I've made £2.39, and we're pumping out 270 watts, 280 watts at the moment. 285, 88, 93, 96, 95. So we're going to hit 300 watts pretty quick here in a minute. But that's that. Anybody want to know more about it, ask me some questions or ping me an email. As you can see, the sun's slipped its way behind a cloud up there. I'll get back to making this other tray as soon as I can. Everything's a bit delayed with this year. The fish certainly aren't delayed this summer. They put on a little bit more size through the winter, which is nice. Still got that growth on that one's lip. I need to pop out and have a look and see how bad the carp pox is on it. If anybody's got a few tips on those pox spots, if there's anything you can do on them, I'd like to know, because I can't find any info on it. None of my friends or anything know anything on it, but it's got a spot on its back as well, spot on its head that always come up. The pox on the smaller ones is disappearing. By midsummer that'll be gone. So yeah, with that tray we're going to connect in there, alpha grog in the bottom of it, across, second tray at least, maybe a third one, depends on the amount of material I've got. Put alpha grog in the bottom, and I should be able to get 4 inches just over a water in it running through, and plant the cress in that. Still haven't seen the fry in the veg filter. When I'm calling them fry because even though they were growing all over the winter, they only got to about 3.5, 4 inches, and that was it. Just couldn't understand it. I lost loads. Ended up with at least 1 or 2 survivors here in the tank that went all the way through the winter, not being fed, just feeding on what was in the tank. And I dropped in the ones that I had indoors. They're in there with them now, and they seem to like hiding over under the baskets at the end. And the nimbulus there, that's really getting some size now. Gobbling a few nitrates, but hopefully this will take off this week and I'll get back into work and I can finish making this filter. I just need the bench space, I just haven't got the space to do it. in my workshop here. As you can see, it's rather cluttered in there. So I'll spin back up. So I hope you're all enjoying a good start to your ponding season. I know it's that time of year for cooties. Lots of bugs in the pond. Seen a few people struggling, this and that. I've done scrapes, done my water tests, and I'm all clear. So I'm counting myself lucky. Usually as the fish get more active, the bugs get more active. So if you've got cooties, don't be surprised. Everybody can get them at this time of the year. If you haven't got them, you're damn lucky like me. I don't like treating the pond, but I will if necessary. But this year I'm not going to have to at the moment, other than the blanket weed by the looks of it. I'll keep a close eye on that this week, and if it starts blocking up the answer filter, then it's time for me to do something about it. It's you can see the strings of it floating around in the water, but at the moment the brushes in the bottom of the vortex seem to be catching it before it gets to the screen on the answer. If anybody can tell me what it's like when you've got blanket weed in a pond with a drum filter, that must be an absolute nightmare. It must keep firing all the time. So if you've got experience on that drum filter and blanket weed, I'd like to know what happens, how often your drum's firing to try and keep that clean. I expect a lot of people would like to know. But anyway, for this week, down here in Devon, I'm saying happy ponding to you. Hope you've had some better weather than I have. And hopefully next week's a bit better. I'm looking forward to getting back to work and getting back to normal. So, from down here in Devon, bye for now. Enjoy your ponding.